Hello and welcome to Rocket Yoga. My name is Erin Evans and we'll start in child's pose. Take your knees wide, big toes together, heels apart, arms out in front or back behind. Resting your forehead to the floor and close the eyes if it's appropriate. Taking these first few moments to feel into the landscape of your skin, bones, muscle tissue. And if you have the Ujjayi pranayama, the deep inhale to exhale in your practice, you can start to activate that. A sounding breath that fills the space of your mat. Knowing that throughout your practice, you can always return to this shape. And if you haven't already, begin to awaken the pelvic floor. Knitting the sitting bones, pubic bone, tailbone toward each other. The superpower plug of a yogi. And on your next inhale, rising to all fours. Flip your fingers to face your knees and inhale, drop your belly, lift your eyes. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, the belly drops, the eyes lift. Exhale, round the back. One more time, inhale, the belly drops, eyes lift. Exhale, round and widen the shoulder blades. Come back through neutral, flip your palms to face forward and lift your hips into your first downward dog. Set the eyes on one spot and throughout the practice, let the eyes fall back to that. And on your next inhale, extend your right leg up and point your toes. Bend your knees, stack the hips, start to roll the hips open. Notice if the left armpit drops, pull up. Take the eyes forward, step the foot in the sky between your hands and drop your back knee, point your back toes. Reach your arms above head, palms could face forward. You might actually put one palm on top of the other. And start to lean the ears back to line the biceps. Pull the front knee forward, pelvis lower. Pinky finger tacks down onto the earth. And then tenting the fingers to come into a runner stretch. Peel back on the front leg. Look at 5 toes. Notice if there is a codependent relationship between 2 of them and it's time for them to get some space. Tip it forward into a standing split. Tent the fingers, drop the skull, and take your eyes up the wall behind. The foot in the sky is pointed. The farther up the wall you look, the higher the leg will lift. Take a giant step back with the left leg. Plant the palms, right leg high. Bend it, stack it, and then drop down onto the left forearm and reach that right kneecap to the sky. Notice where your eyes have fallen. And then pull yourself back to a 3-legged dog and release the foot. Lift the opposite leg up, point the toes, bend the knee, open the hip. Every inhalation, the entire body gets bigger. Every exhale, there's a contraction. Send your leg high, step the foot between your hands, drop the back knee, point the toes, arms elevate. Palms face forward, you might stack the palms upon each other and lean back. Feel all 5 of the toes anchor into the floor. You're making the shape of half a moon with your back body. Bring your fingertips to the earth, traction the front leg back, flex your foot. A little indication of how the hamstrings are, right to left, maybe different. Shift the weight back into the front foot, a standing split, point the foot, bow the heart. Take the eyes up the wall behind, point the foot in the sky. Notice if you could activate your glute and lift it even higher. Take a bend back into that front knee, step back with the right, send your left leg high. Bend it, stack it, reach it, drop down onto the right forearm, and more extension through the sideline. Pay attention to if the back toes are gripping, less grip. Pull your way back to a 3-legged dog. Take your eyes forward, step your left foot, then your right foot up. Lengthen. Fold it in. Stretch tall, look up. Release your arms. Surya Namaskara A, inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Step or hop the feet back, low push-up, chin forward. Push your toes back, elevate the heart. Flip your toes, lift your hips, downward dog. The feet are hip distance apart. The outer edges of the feet line up with the edges of the mat. For myself, it's a subtle pigeon toe, big toes in, heels apart. Completing your exhale, pull the low belly back, eyes forward, step walk, hop to the top. Lengthen, fold, stand tall, quads up, look up. Release your arms. Inhale up. Exhale, fold, clear the belly. Inhale, lengthen. Step walk, float back, low push up. Drag your pelvis to your wrists, look up. Take it back, downward dog. So this is our 3rd time in the dog pose. What is different now? Feel all 10 of the finger pads grip down into the floor. Clear your low belly, eyes forward, step or hop to the top. Lengthen. Over and in. Stand tall, proud, arms up. Release your arms. Inhale up. Fold it in, neck is soft. Lift your heart. Step or hop back, low push up. Inhale, tack the toes, lift the chest. Downward dog, slide back. A subtle internal rotation of the thigh bones, space for your groins. At the bottom of your exhale, eyes forward, feet between your hands. Lengthen, fold, stretch tall, arms high. Release your arms. Bending into the knees, arms up. Fold it in, forehead toward the shins. Lengthen. Step, jump, float, low push-up. Big inhale peels you up. Exhale back. Right foot steps, warrior one, inhale up. Release the shape, chest squared, low push-up. Drag it up. Slide it back. Left foot steps, knee lunges, heart lifts. Hands down, step back, low push-up. Spinal extension. Downward facing dog we go. You may notice that the heart starts to beat a little quicker. Become so still you feel your own heart beating in your own chest. What a miracle to have a body that moves like this. Completing your exhale, eyes forward, feet to the top. Lengthen. Bow. Sit low, Utkatasana, look up and fold back in. Boost the chest. Take it back, Chaturanga, collarbones broad. Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha, right foot steps, knee lunges, heart lifts, come up. Come down like the rhythm of a wave, lower. Ride it up. Slide it back. Left foot steps, warrior one, up. Down, finger bones wide, low push up. Spinal extension. Downward facing dog. Option is stay just the way you are or drop down onto the forearms for dolphin. Some of you might start to take it upside down into forearm stand. You might like a wall. Notice where the eyes have landed. If you're upside down, tone the glutes. If you're upside down, come right side up, down dog. Completing your exhale, eyes forward, pounce to the top. Lengthen. Bow. Sit low, Utkatasana. Over and in. Inhale, lengthen, and crow pose for 2. For 1. Float it back, low push-up. Spinal extension. Downward dog. Right foot steps, warrior one, adding on warrior two. Exalted warrior. Side plank on the left, anchor through the left palm, spin it open. You could put a foot down, you could reach a foot up. Set the eyes the direction you want to go, upward. Release the shape, hands down, low push-up. Spinal extension, downward dog. Left foot steps, Vira A, come up. Open wide. Flip your warrior. Side plank on the right, anchor through the right palm, spin it open. You might modify, drop an elbow, drop a foot. Find your tailbone in space, take it to the back edge of your mat. Take your eyes down, hands down, Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha, downward dog. In Sanskrit, the word is tapas. It is the burning zeal, the passion, the heat of practice. The commitment to show up again and again. The discipline. Completing your exhale, eyes forward, feet to the top. Lengthen. Bow. Utkatasana, chair pose to hold. Your palms could touch, your palms could splay. Get a little curvature in the low back, so a widening of the upper thighs. If your toes are gripping, lift all 10 of them up. Ardha Utkatasana, rest your belly on your thighs, intertwine your fingers, press your palms forward. Lift your toes up off the floor, smile your sitting bones. Eyes on an imperfection, commit to the spot that you're looking at. Bring your hands to the earth, crow pose again, option for a squat. If anybody's working to handstand, you might float up. Step walk, float back, low push up. Over and up. Downward dog. Lift your right leg up. Step it between the hands. Crescent lunge, back heel is lifted, arms float. Pull the front knee forward, kick the inner edge of the back heel back. Open wide, warrior two. Lift your right arm up, drop it down the back. You might stop there. You might thread the left arm through and get a grip. Some of you might turn it into a bit of a opening through the side lung by taking the right elbow back. Come all the way up, warrior two. Straighten the front leg, triangle. Slide the hip back. Right hand to the shin, to the toe, to the floor. Put the eyes on an imperfection of an imperfection. Notice if there is a pucker at your low ribs and tuck your low ribs together to widen your back. Take your eyes down and inhale picks you up as you catch your waist and square your hips. Twisted triangle, left hand to the shin, to the floor, a block. You might elevate the right arm up. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon, right fingertips down, lift the left leg up. Left hand to the hip, to the ceiling, maybe bending the leg in the sky, catching the foot. And some of you might start to take your eyes up, look at the ceiling, maybe over the left shoulder. Take the eyes down, side angle from the floor up. Warrior two legs, right elbow inside or outside the foot or on the knee. Some of you might take a bind. And if you're happily bound and want to flirt with balance, you could turn it to birds of paradise. Look down, step forward, and stand up on the left leg. Set your eyes. Tie a weight to the tailbone and then tighten your grip wherever you are. If you're flying, step down, step back. If you're tangled, untangle, hands down, drop the back knee. Arms come up. Right hand to the small of the back, you might take it back to your heel and then straighten out the right leg and Charlie Chaplin the foot. Take your ears in line with your arm in the sky. Pull it forward, twisted side angle. Hook your left elbow over your knee. Option to open, to bind. Maybe lift that back heel up. If you're bound and want to take revolve birds of paradise, you could step it forward. If you're flying, step down, step back. Releasing the fingertips to the earth for a pistol squat. Sweep the leg in the sky through. Fingers could be used as kickstands. You might catch your foot, squeeze the knees together, and balance. And gently lower your bottom to the earth. Lift both legs up. Catch under the knees, the calves, around the heels. Upaya Padangustasana, throat is open, toes are flointed. You can think of a Barbie foot. Pointed, but the toes are flexed. She was such a show-off. She just wanted to show off her calf muscles always. Tip it forward, Bakasana, crow pose to get us back. Pop back to lower. Drag your chest through. Slide back, downward dog. Option is stay the way you are, child's, or drop to the forearms for dolphin or go upside down. If you have any leg positions upside down, you might take those. For 3, for 2, for 1, if you're upside down, come right side up, stretch back. A little inventory, how are you? How's the quality of the breath? What about that lift in the pelvic floor? Lift your left leg up. Step it between the hands, crescent lunge, arms float. Your palms could touch, they could splay. Get long through the low back, get buoyant through the chest, straight back leg. Open wide, Virabhadrasana B, warrior 2. Reach your left arm up, drop it down the back. You might stop there. You might thread the opposite arm through, catch the fingers. You might even start to revolve your left lung to the ceiling. Untangle the arms, straighten the front leg, Trikonasana triangle. Hand to the shin, to the ankle, to the floor, top arm up. Traditionally, the gazing point is the thumbnail in the sky. You might like to look down or forwards. Take the eyes down and inhale lifts you. Catches the waist, squares the pelvis, right arm forward to the shin, a block, the floor, twisted triangle. Continue to peel up on the right hip as you elevate the left shoulder. Think of the line that a seatbelt would cross, hip to shoulder. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon, left fingertips down, right leg lifts. Take the hip, hand to the sky, maybe catch the ankle. You might start to get courageous with the gaze, taking it up and over your shoulder. And preparing yourself for extended side angle, step back. Elbow to knee, hand inside or outside the foot. You might like to take a bind. And binders, you might like to fly, stepping forward, standing up. Wherever you are, get long through the low back and explore your right lung. If you're flying, step down, step back. Untangle the arms, drop the back knee, arms up. Left hand to the low back, you might trace it to the heel and straighten out the front leg. Charlie Chaplin the foot, ears line your biceps. Pull it forward, twisted side angle. Hook the right elbow over the left knee. Any variation, bind, open, hands to prayer. Every exhale, roll the heart. See if you could get 1 extra inch. Take the eyes down, take the hands down, tent the fingers for pistol squat. Sweep the leg through. You might balance or use your fingers as kickstands. And gently lower onto the bottom, widen the legs, catch your big toes and take your eyes up. Find the pelvic floor, squeeze it in, throat open. Rock it forward, crow to get you back or step back. Vinyasa or straight downward dog as opposed to a queer downward dog. And then walk your hands back to your feet. Catch your big toes in yogi grip, lengthen. Exhale over and in. Shake the skull, make sure there's no unnecessary tension there. If you can remember to hollow the belly so the organs of the upper chest drop forward. Big inhale flattens the back, bends the knees and slides your hands under your feet. Look up, over and in. Notice where the eyes have landed. Again, you take them farther up the wall, you'll take it more introverted. How accurate could you be with your eyes? Knowing that the external world is constantly calling your attention. Be a rebel and stay in. Big inhale flattens the back. Releases the hands for a little squat at the back of the mat. Option to stay here. Option to tip it forward into crow and then widen the feet, gently lower the skull, headstand. And any leg variations, some of you might take it to a diamond shape, a lotus shape. And then catch the knees on the backs of the arms, pick it up, crow. And then untangle, release the feet, little squat. Hands to the floor, crawl yourself forward into down dog. Again, another moment. How am I? My breath, my skin, my temperature. Eyes forward, step or float to the top. Lengthen, fold it in. Stand tall, arms high. Release your arms. Take a step out with the right foot for Prasarita. Catch the waist, eyes up. Exhale, fold, hands down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, over and in. So of course you could go upside down for handstand, headstand, pincha. You might stay in your Prasarita A using your hands to take your head closer to Mama Earth. If you're upside down, release the legs. Inhale, lengthen. Catch the waist, flatten the back, stand up. Arms float like eagle wings. Intertwine the fingers. C, chest up. Over and in. Let the head reach to the floor. Maybe the hands will touch. Play with the flexion in the ankle joint. How much depth can you get getting your shin bone over your ankle bone? A big inhale stands you up. Arms float. Catch the waist for D, chest up. Hands down the legs. Catch the big toes, look up. Fold it in. So the way we touch our toes, it's intentional. We're pulling up on our toes as though we were doing a chin up on a chin up bar. So the shoulders aren't saggy or void of attention. Big inhale lifts the heart, releases the toes and pivots you to face your right leg for half split or full split. You might like blocks under your hands, under your pelvis. Back toe could point or flex. Some of you might elevate the arms, maybe turn it into a king bind. Notice how the inhale makes you light, the exhale is contractile. Release the fingers to the earth, return to a lunge, pivot the opposite direction. Lunge deep, glide forward. Again, props or no props, arms up or down. Stabilize the breath. So the breath is a big indicator of how things are going. Release the fingertips to the earth. Take a lunge into the left knee. Step forward. Lengthen. Fold it in. Stand tall, proud, look up. Release your arms. Dancer's pose. Feet hip distance, you'll be on your left leg. Bend the right knee, catch the ankle, and then start to tighten the bow. Some of you might be working a king bind. Keep bowing the chest, lifting the leg. 3, 2, 1. Release your pose. Take a moment, feel the afterglow. Other side, anchor into the right foot, catch the ankle or go for the king grip. Bow your belly, lift your leg, eyes set. Lift the leg even higher and release your pose. Take a beat. Tree or half bound standing lotus. You're on your left leg. The right foot would come underneath the knee joint or above it. Half lotus, folks, you'll reach behind your back, catch your toe, bow it in. My tree people, you could elevate your arms and get really committed to pressing your foot to your leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, if you're down, come up. If your arms are elevated, bring them down. Release your pose. Take a beat. Other side, anchoring into the right foot. Left foot crosses up and over or catches the foot. Half bound standing lotus or tree, arms up or down. Pull the low belly back, live in the standing leg. If you're bowed forward, notice where the eyes fall. Notice tension in the neck, not helpful here. Big inhale lifts the heart. Exhale. If you're down, come up. If your arms are up, release them. Release the shape. Take refuge. Celebrate. Big inhale lifts the arms, rises you to your tippy toes, squeezes your inner ankle bones together. So as yogis, we don't often stand on our toes, so this is cool. Am I strong here? Is it uncomfortable? It's an area of possibility, not a deficit. And then hands to heart center, sink low. Side crow, knees pivot to the left. You might stay snuggled in tight, or you might get high, tipping the weight forward and lifting the feet up off the earth. Knees could be bent, legs could be straight, eyes set. Lift the leg in the sky higher and then release your twist. Over to the opposite side, hook the elbow on the knee, tip it forward, pick it up. Protract the shoulders, get height through the hips. Find that spot for the eyes, hold it, and release your flight. Knees through center, inhale, lengthen. Bow. Lengthen again. Fold in. Inhale, lengthen. Step walk, float back and lower all the way onto the abdomen. Line the tops of the hands by the hips, Shalambasan, peel up. Eyes set, big toes together, lift up even higher. Activating the posterior chain of the body. Remain elevated, but flip your palms and squeeze your elbows together. Keep everything high and utilize the power of the hands. Lift even higher and release. Option to vinyasa or cheek to one side. Coming back down onto the abdomen, Dhanurasana. Bend the knees, reach back, catch the ankles. Rise up. Feel the big toes touch as you lift nice and high. Shifting the weight into the thighs, peel back. Every inhale we go higher, every exhale we settle. Big toes linked. And release. Cheek to one side or option to vinyasa. One more time, shift it forward onto the abdomen. Parsvadhanurasana, reaching back to catch the ankles. Inhale, peel up, rock over, right shoulder, right hip. Bring the big toes together, stretch back through the legs. Eyes trace the baseboard on the wall. Big open throat. And then rock it through center, opposite side. Kick back through the legs, ears back, eyes back, strong, firm line through the front. Notice what you're looking at. And a big inhale lifts you through center, releases the shape of vinyasa or straight downward dog. Dropping down onto the knees, option 1, child's pose, option 2, funky. Left forearm down, right hand lines up with the elbow joint, head toward the elbow joint. Some of us might come into a downward dog stance or hook the right knee on the back of the elbow. Option to take both legs up. Some of you might like to flirt with different leg positions, eagle, lotus, split. If you want to learn balance, shift your legs when you're upside down. And release the shape. Switching sides, place the opposite forearm to the earth, hand lines up with the elbow joint, head is down. Climb your way up, option to take the legs to the sky or option to rest in your child's. You might flirt with some leg variations. And come all the way down. Rising up to set ourselves up for hero's pose. Some of you might put a block underneath your pelvis. Some of you might recline onto the back. Get long through the low back and tuck the low ribs together. One of my favorite quotes is, "When my master and I were walking in the rain, my master said, 'Why are you walking so fast? The rain you wish to escape is everywhere.'" Yoga is the reminder to meet each moment. We're not escaping the rain, the pain, the joy. Feel all 10 of the toes tack down into the floor. Feel a subtle internal rotation of your leg bones. Let the earth support your weight. And slowly making your way back up. Option 1, a high plank to stretch out the knees. Option 2, a handstand. Feel free to use a wall. It's to realign the knees to make sure that everything feels symmetric. If you're in handstand, set those eyes, tone those glutes. And release the shape. Stand up on the knee joints for Ustrasana. Option to catch the low back or reach back and catch the heels. Take the pubic bone forward, gently open the throat and notice where the eyes land. Continue to draw the navel center forward, setting the eyes. Peel the top of the skin on the foot up so the top of the foot doesn't even touch the floor. The toenails control it. And all the way up. Option 1, heroes, childs, unless you want to go upside down. Bask in this moment. Second round, last one. Standing up on the knees and setting yourself up for number 2. Catch the low back, take the pelvis forward, and this time perhaps the eyes go farther down the wall. If you have a deeper variation, feel free to move into Legu Vidrasana or Kapotasana. And notice what's different this time. We do this shape 2 times, so the second time should be different. All the way up. Take it back, a vinyasa or a downward dog. Feel the relief, the surrender, the afterglow. Lifting the right leg up, right knee, right armpit. Send it to the sky. Sweep the leg through, lower the knee to the earth, pigeon pose. This will be a 10-breath hold, so option to bend back, bend forward, maybe half and half. Set yourself up so that this feels like the right medicine as we end our practice. We're not quite done yet. For those of you that are in upright pigeon, activate the pelvic floor. And then perhaps for the last 5 breaths, you fold forward. So this is more passive, yet the legs are active. Take your attention to the back foot. Notice what you notice. And then slowly climbing your way up, sitting over on the right hip, sweep the left leg around to stomp the foot for Ardha Matsyendrasana. Right elbow catches the knee joint as you spin and revolve your eyes. Notice where the eyes land, so when we take the twist on the opposite side, we've got a reference point. Every inhale, height. Every exhale, rotation. Twisting from the lowest part of the abdomen, spin that left lung open. And then coming all the way back through center, option for a headstand vinyasa, a step back, or a regular vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. Reach your left leg up. Sweep it through Ekapada Raja Kapotasana, King Pigeon pose. 10 breath. Option to back bend or forward, maybe a variation of the two. Set yourself up, and if you're bowing forward, stabilize the pelvis, conscious not to take this into the knee joint. Let the inhales expand, let the exhales deepen. For the last 5 breaths, you might bow forward, take a double pigeon, yogi's choice. And become aware of the big toe on your back foot. Nothing to change, just simply observe what the toe is doing. Let every exhale soften the basket of tension. And if you're bowed forward, crawl your way up. And sitting over on the left hip, sweep the right leg around, Ardha Matsyendrasana. Hook the elbow on the knee and spin the eyes, spin the heart. Notice if the eyes land in the same spot they did on the opposite side. It's just information. Continue to rotate the spine, spin the eyes, spin the heart. Last exhale. Spin the eyes forward, release the shape. Option for a headstand vinyasa or a stretch back to downward dog. So there are 2 options before we close our practice. Option 1, headstand. You'll drop to your knees, drop to the forearms for a traditional headstand. Those of you that want to recline twist, join me on your abdomen and roll over onto your back. Hug your knees in toward your chest, take your arms wide and wrap your left leg around your right. Knees fall to the left, eyes fall to the right. And let the weight anchor down into the earth. Let gravity do what gravity does. Releasing any tension in the body. The breath could be softer. Headstanders, you might even lift your head right up off the earth, anchoring down into the elbows. And bring the eyes through center, knees through center, untangle, retangle. Headstanders, pike, twisters, twist the opposite direction. Set the eyes over the opposite shoulder. Notice a different side to side or maybe symmetry. Headstanders, make your way all the way back up through headstand. And twisters, draw your knees through center, untangle. Headstanders, child's pose. Twisters will lie on our backs for Savasana. When you're ready, headstanders, meet us on your back. Draping the shoulders under the back to cradle the heart. Take a deep inhale. Release the practice. Notice a subtle hum running through the body. Feel the weight of your brain in the back of your skull. This is fertile time for ideas, insight. Release all doing, all effort. And slowly begin to reawaken your fingers, your toes. Stretch your arms overhead, point your toes. Tuck your knees in towards your abdomen, rolling over onto one side, and join me in a comfortable seat. Taking a few moments to notice the feeling tone inside the body. Notice the periphery of the skin and the temperature in the room. This is worth a celebration. And gently open the eyes if they're closed. Draw your hands to heart center. Thank you so much for your practice. Jai.